goal of my work is that we're looking at modulation of the reward system in the brain and how that's affected or how that affects drug relapse, particularly the drug of abuse that I study most is cocaine. One of the really cool things about what I do is I get to use a technique called deep brain stimulation. Deep brain stimulation is already FDA approved. It's an FDA approved treatment for movement disorders, specifically Parkinson's disease. Now there's a growing body of research that DBS can actually help in psychiatric disorders, particularly drug addiction. And there's been some clinical trials, not many, that have been promising. And so the goal of my work is a little bit more on the basic side, where we're trying to understand just how that deep brain stimulation is affecting those reward circuits and how that, like the underlying mechanism by which it suppresses drug relapse.
I really like Leo's project. There's two distinct components of his projects. Well, the first is very hardcore cellular molecular, the kinds of things that take a little bit of explaining to a lay audience. It's really kind of difficult to impart the specifics of it. But the neat part about that is it's really cutting edge and one of the things that we think is going to move the field forward. Whereas the other part of it is the sort of thing that's easy to explain to your grandmother. It's, most people know about deep brain stimulation, and so he's applying deep brain stimulation to animal models of addiction and has gotten really interesting results that have impacted on clinical trials and things. So that's, he's got both components with his project, and it's and that's really neat that he's marrying both and trying to move things into a translational direction.
I don't know if I could say enough good things about my mentor. He's really, he's been fantastic. He's very much both in a scientific and a personal way. He's very aware of what he's doing, and he forces you to kind of work things out on your own a little bit, and that way when he talks to you as somebody who's already thought about the questions and the problems that you're having, rather than, taking you by the hand and walking you through it. He lets you kind of figure it out for yourself. So scientifically, that's one thing. And then personally, he's just, a very social member of the faculty here, and he's one of the favorites among at least my friends in the program.
He's a great guy. Everybody loves Leo. Leo went here to the University of Pennsylvania, had a very productive research experiences here as an undergraduate. Once he graduated, he worked in one of the best neuroscience labs here at Penn, and ultimately became the head technician there. He's from Philadelphia. He evidently loves Philadelphia, because then he decided to stay here at Penn and be in our graduate group. And I was really excited. First off, that he had chose to do a rotation in our laboratory, and ultimately chose to join our laboratory. I mean, he fits right in. Hard worker, bright guy, and really a great guy to be around. So he's kind of the whole package.
A good day in a lab for me, I would probably say it's the same for most people, is a day when you get a really great experimental result. And you get something that's, kind of supports your hypothesis and pushes your story along a little further. It's just a very, very exciting time.
The greatest thing I like to hear is, I've got some new data, you want to see it? And so that's a great day for me, and that's really builds up excitement in me, is, often, and I may not remember the specifics of what they were working on day to day, and so, they put a piece of paper with a graph in front of me, and it's like, oh, that was this experiment, wow. It turned out the way we expected, or wow, it turned out not at all the way we expected, and what are we going to do with that, and what's the next experiment? And then we end up in a brainstorming session and then we think, oh, we need to bring in such and such an experiment, and let's call down the lab and see if so-and-so is available, get them up here and let's talk about it and see what we can do next. I mean, that's what really gets me enthused.
The best advice I think I can give, or the advice I wish I heard when I was starting, is that you don't have to know everything right away. If you're interested in something and you're passionate about something, you'll find something that drives you and makes you want to go to lab every day and keep at the research and keep working hard, and just not to get discouraged. So just keep your chin up, keep going.
This is a very tough and long process and frustrating process, but at the end of the day, when I'm done being a scientist, if I've contributed even in a small way to treating addiction, which is obviously a huge problem worldwide, that would be very rewarding.